I didn't know she was black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn black, and now she wants to be known as black. So I don't know, is she Indian or is she black?
She is always identified as a black woman.
I respect either one. I respect either one, but she obviously doesn't, because she was Indian all the way, and then all of a sudden she made a turn and she became a black person.
Just to be clear, running the country.
Former President Trump sparking backlash for questioning Vice President Harris' race during a contentious interview with black journalists. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Lindsay Pena.
And I'm Jim Avila. Trump was invited to speak at the National Association of Black Journalists Convention in Chicago today. Right off the bat, he refused to answer a question about a string of past inflammatory rhetoric toward women of color.
Well, first of all, I don't think I've ever been asked a question so in such a horrible manner, a first question. You don't even say, hello, how are you? Are you with ABC? Because I think they're a fake news network, a terrible network.
Harris's campaign responded after the NABJ interview, saying Trump showed, quote, hostility on the stage.
Now, ABC 10 News anchor Wale Aliou is joining us live from Chicago. He's attending that convention and was in the room when Trump took the stage. Wale, that's a room that's filled with African-American journalists. They're hearing these attacks on the first African-American vice president. What was the reaction in the room?
Yeah, contentious is one word that can be used to describe it, Jim. Lindsay, awkward at times is another word that could be used to describe it. Humorous. The audience, as you mentioned, more than 1,000 journalists of color in that room. Oftentimes, if I'm being honest with you, not laughing with the president. You know, some of the rhetoric that has been heard over the last 8 years, you wondered if he would give that same rhetoric in front of this room. And that's honestly why a lot of people were there. They were curious to see what exactly was going to happen here. And to some surprise and to others, not so much of a surprise, he gave a lot of that same rhetoric, some of which we heard just in the sound bites beforehand. So there was a lot of different reaction, a lot of awkwardness, a lot of surprise, some gas, some sighs, some laughter. I won't lie, there were some cheers. There were some Trump fans in the audience who cheered him. There weren't a lot. It was pretty quiet when he came out on stage, but there were some supporters. And then there were some people that were just ready to just kind of yell at the president. One that came to mind was somebody in the back of the audience during Trump's speaking today yelled, "Have you no shame?" That was a direct quote. I'm not sure if that person was escorted out or not, but that was just a snippet of just some of what we were hearing in just an awkward and contentious and at times humorous interview today.
Wale, Lindsay here. Talk to us just a little bit about the events leading up to his time on stage. From what we heard, it was delayed for a time. Just describe to us, you know, what it took for you to get into that room. I assume that a lot of people wanted to be in there and see this for themselves.
Yeah, so the time that we were told that the president would be speaking was between 12 and 1. And I had just from previous conventions, I've been here in 2008. Former President Barack Obama took the stage. He was also a little bit late. And most years, most convention years, presidents and presidential candidates are invited. From my understanding, President Trump has been invited before and has turned down requests. Obviously, we know Vice President Kamala Harris wasn't able to make this trip either virtually or in person. She will be speaking with NABJ virtually, we believe, in September. But just to get in for what was supposed to be 12 to 1, you had to go through quite a bit of security. Obviously, Secret Service being on hand, especially after what we saw happen in Pennsylvania last month. It doesn't matter. It's a group of journalists. We all went through Secret Service and had to turn over all our bags, empty out all our pockets just to get into the room. There was Secret Service everywhere. And then they locked down the room, and then at around 12:40, no one else was allowed to enter. And then the president, the former president, I believe, took the stage, I want to say around 1:20, 1:30, and spoke for about an hour. That interview lasted. So it was quite a bit just to get into the room, for sure. And I got to be honest with you, Lindsay, there was half the room was there because they're objective journalists and they wanted to hear the president out. And then there was a huge section of the population that didn't want the former president to be there. And I'll tell you why. Let me explain this very clearly. This is a former president who has used rhetoric against some of the very journalists in that room. And by him being there, it was no longer a safe space for those journalists, because this convention is a National Association of Black Journalists convention, and it's supposed to be a safe space for journalists of color to be together. And when that was removed, according to a good section of the population, because just of the former president's appearance at the convention alone.
Wale, thank you so much reporting for us tonight from Chicago. We appreciate your insight and
Definitely.
firsthand accounts.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Wale.